Prince Harry appeared and left after Invictus ceremony to meet with Meghan. The royal was supported by his uncle, Earl Spencer, among others. Prince Harry made his much-anticipated return to London on Tuesday, May 7 and on Wednesday. He attended a service at St. Paul's Cathedral to mark the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. However, it was a flying visit because the prince will soon be heading off to join his wife Meghan for their trip to Nigeria. The couple are understood to have been invited by the Chief of Defense Staff, the highest-ranking military official in the country, who Harry met at the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf last September. Harry's friend and director of the Invictus Games Foundation, David Wiseman, commented on the significance of the trip. He said, "We will go to Nigeria in the coming days and see the progress that has been made in building and developing the recovery of sports in that country. And we will celebrate the incredible progress that they have made." During last year's Invictus Games, Meghan spent a lot of time bonding with a Nigerian team, who even gave her her Nigerian name. The country has a special place in Meghan's heart, as the mother of two has Nigerian heritage, which she revealed on her former podcast, Archetypes. Speaking to celebrity interviewer Iwa, the royal couple said, "I just did my genealogy a few years ago, and I'm 43% Nigerian." She continued, "I dig into everything because everyone I've talked to, especially Nigerians, are like what?" On the Real Royal podcast, The Telegraph's royal reporter Hannah Furness talks about why Meghan is unlikely to return to the UK anytime soon. "It's a pretty tough story that Meghan and the kids won't be coming back until they can sort out of this security issue to their heart's content," he says. Period. But Harry definitely comes and goes. Harry's uncle and Princess Diana's brother, Charles Spencer, was there with his sister Lady Jane Fellows, who he smiled with when he arrived. The service was led by the Very Reverend Andrew Tremlett, Dean of St. Paul's, and guests of honor included representatives from all the countries participating in the Invictus Games, including members of the Wounded and Ill Service and Veterans community. Period. Also present was actor Damian Lewis, who recited the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Prince Harry founded the Invictus Games to help rehabilitate injured and ill soldiers and veterans around the world by challenging them to compete in sporting events similar to the Paralympics. Wednesday's event marked the prince's first return to Britain since he flew to his father King Charles in February to attend his father's cancer diagnosis. On arrival, Harry was driven straight to Clarence House, where he spent 45 minutes with his father, who delayed a trip to Sandringham to meet his younger son. Prince Harry's friends, who have been there since the start of the Invictus Games, say his fire for helping the veterans community has always burned brightly despite his royal status. "Prince Harry is like me and JJ, he was a combat soldier who did 2 tours, one on the ground and one in the air. He didn't mind," Wiseman says, referring to Harry's incidents. Period. 10 years of service in the British Army from 2005 to 2015 and 2 tours in Afghanistan. A soldier's identity doesn't disappear or change because you're a prince or a duke. He feels it. He feels part of this community, and we feel part of our community, says Wiseman. "It's a passion, and what drives him is the desire to serve this community. I was fired for that vision in 2009 and finally got out of the military on May 1, 2013. I think on the 15th of May I was on this tour with Prince Harry and I called to see the Warrior Games. He could see where this was going. He sat there, glass of orange juice in hand, and created this vision. He said, 'This is mega. What we're seeing here is brilliant, but let's take it back. Let's internationalize it, invite the world and the general public, put it in the Olympic Park and put it on the BBC. And let's have a huge closing concert and use it as a focal point to inspire the world.'" He recalls. He could see it on that very morning, and that's where he took us. "As far as I can say, the Duke set out to do 2 things. Create a platform that could give us physical and mental recovery, and secondly, what we had learned about ourselves, and more importantly, what we'd learned about disability and the world. He could see this was an opportunity to educate and inspire people out with our community," he says. That's the service element of it. What he really set out to do by bringing those people to see it and giving us the stage was to basically bottle what we were all living. That's where that I am and the name Invictus Games came from, he continued. referring to the William Ernest Henley poem that inspired the Invictus motto and was read at the service of Thanksgiving.